Did they get broth out of all that turkey?
Yeah.
Good. They got a lot of broth out of that turkey? Wow, how many turkeys did they do? I gave her a turkey and broth. Do what? Really?
There's trouble. Hey, double trouble. Here comes Sally Marie. We got three of you. Letitia, well, you guys are on quorum. Hey, there's Rosalind. I need in the phone.
Yeah.
Just open it. Please.
Hi, Shelley.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right, then. You know, it depends on what.
Hi, Rod. So what do you want to put in this one? Oh, just put this in.
So I just want to look at that. Go taste the one you got for us.
Okay. Verb.
Right.
Oh,
She said she forgot letting them like we were talking about. Shelley. It's 7 to 9. So I think we'll be able St. Andrews is up for That's fine. That's fine. If it's, I was going to say, I think it's not having to be here. See, I think my all right? No, when you came in, fired, so I was not very happy with it. Did you get that?
I know. Oh, if you have to have it, fine. You have to just keep the camera off.
I call to order the Board of Trustee regular meeting for December 5th, 2023, and the time is now 6 o'clock. Trustee Johnson, would you like to give the invocation?
Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you for citizens here, citizens of Etna, the freedoms that you grant us, the people who make our lives safe. Pray for those who are overseas defending our country. I pray for those first responders who have to deal with things here, and I pray to be with their families as they have to help them, adjust to different things. Amen.
Amen. Join me with the invocation. The Pledge of Allegiance, I'm sorry. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Ms. Varian.
Mr. Evans?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Ms. McKee?
Here. I move to adopt the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yes, just want to say once again, there's been no cooperation by the board president with myself as trustee on this agenda, and it was again withheld until 25 hours before this meeting, along with all the information for this meeting. It's just, there's no way to properly prepare for this meeting when things are just thrown at you. It is better than seeing them on my podium like they were, but this is not appropriate.
Roll call, Ms. Varian.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes. I move to adopt the minutes for the November 21st, 2023 meeting as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
A discussion?
Yeah, once again, the minutes are skewed, don't properly reflect the business of the board. So I think we need to do better.
Roll call, Ms. Varian.
Mr. Evans?
No.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes. Okay, we'll move over into public comments. Please limit your public comments to 3 minutes. Please come up to the podium, state your first, last name, and your address for the record.
Judy Kaffmeyer, 29 Rome Court. Yes, I know, as I've been reminded on more than one occasion, this is Etna Township. That's why I'm wearing this t-shirt in support of Pataskala. But there's a reason why I chose to wear this t-shirt this evening. Pataskala is our neighbor, and this township shares a variety of mutual interests with them. And just as we have to be watchful of for our own residential neighbors, we must also look out for those neighbors in our county, our state, and our country. And that is the Lord's commandment, love thy neighbor. I'll interpret that as needing to get involved even when you are not directly affected yet. That being said, a group of interested citizens from Pataskala, Etna, and others from around Licking County have expressed concerns about the solar panel manufacturing plant at 3600 Etna Parkway in Pataskala. The company, Illuminate USA, is 49% owned by a Chinese company, Longi, and the controlling 51% interest is a company from Chicago, Invenergy. Without going into too much detail at this time, these two entities merged and presto, Illuminate USA. And that sounds all red, white, and blue. Why do I bring this subject up at this time? Well, my interest was piqued by two items on tonight's executive session agenda. To consider the purchase of property for public purposes. And the second one, for the purpose of considering confidential information directly related to a request for economic development. Exactly what might public purposes refer to? I'd like to think that that is something wonderful that enhances our community, but as we know, definitions and interpretations of words change all the time. And public purpose could be a manufacturing plant that is 49% owned by a Chinese company with Chinese Communist Party loyalties. The other item, considering confidential information directly related to a request for economic development, remains to be seen. And I do realize that business dealings have to have a certain level of secrecy in order to have negotiation leverage. However, my caution to our trustees is, number one, know who you're dealing with. Do your own research. Do not sell out your citizens. And if you don't want this next door to you, then neither do I. And I want you most of all to be transparent and honest with us. Thank you.
You have any public comments tonight?
Ryan Davis, 8807 Watkins Road. One of the items I'd like to address, as everyone knows, I've said before at previous meetings, I'm the president of the New Community Authority, which I'm hoping is going to be one of the main avenues that this board could take advantage of putting together our new park. I know the park was approved, or the design was approved, I'm sorry, at a previous meeting, and I'm kind of curious where that update is at, by the way. I know it said it would take a while, but I am concerned. The Langle property was purchased in lieu of, and essentially what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was in lieu of water and sewer service being provided to the front lots on Route 40. And what I believe is that's why the purchase is being held up. The middle section is the park. I mean, it'd be nice to have, even if we didn't have access to the middle section, 2 little small parks, maybe a dog park, something else. But we're designing a park that we're possibly pushing off purchasing because the in lieu of, we have no control over. I don't know what the most recent update from our water and sewer board is on that to be able to complete the purchase of the park. But it's kind of important that we're not just putting it off 6 months and then we're back here again in 6 months. I don't know where the date was chosen for the pushback to the date that might be proposed. One of the trustees shared with us so I could be prepared for the public comments. You know, where was that date chosen? Where was this date chosen as of December 31st? I just would like to see the progress and be updated. And I mean, you did approve the purchase of the property the way that's written, so we're in a spot. And while that might have been best interest and good on the landowner for selling it that way, but it's got the township in a bind. I don't know what's going to be, and I hope we get the park. There's no reason we shouldn't get the park. The Langle property, as far as I know, they want to make it the park. But since we signed a contract saying that they get water and sewers, we have no control over. I understand why they're pushing it off, because they want to make sure they get what they were promised. So I would like as much detail as possible on the water and sewer, the date chosen to push it back to, and the confidence level that the purchase is going to be completed. So, thank you.
Public comments tonight?
Joyce Black, 13398 Palmer Road, Southwest. For approximately 10 months, I've heard pretty strong rumors from reliable sources that it's inevitable that Etna is going to be annexed by Reynoldsburg. Reynoldsburg is currently adding to their first responder force, their police force, etc. So I would just like to know, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's heard this. As we all talk about, I'd like some transparency in this regard. So, thank you.
Okay. First time I heard that one, and I'm a trustee. Thank you, though, Ms. Black, for letting us know about the rumor. Appreciate it. Any other public comments? Okay. All righty, I guess we can move on over to executive session. Move to go into executive session per Ohio Revised Code 121.22G2 to consider the purchase of property for public purpose, and 8, for purpose of considering confidential information directly related to a request for economic development. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes. And the time is 16.
Madam President,
Yes, ma'am.
who are you inviting into executive session?
That would be the board, the full board, as well as the administrator yourself, Nina Hanson, and also our attorney, Julie Dunn from
Thank you.